Hey everybody, I thought I would do a video on Super Advanced Strat. I know Espo is doing his games in Super Advanced, and some other people have thought about delving into Super Advanced. So I thought I would play a game from 1967. It's not an actual game, it's just a game I put together between the 1967 New York Yankees and the 1967 Minnesota Twins from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And it's going to be played in Super Advanced, and I've got the rule book right beside me. And what I'm going to try to do in this game, instead of just playing it Super Advanced, I'm going to try to, if I can remember to do so, I'm going to try to go a little slower. And then as situations arise, such as stolen base chances, fielding chances, and so forth, I'm going to try to go a little bit slower and break it down a little bit and explain what's happening and what the options are from advanced to super advanced. And hopefully I won't miss anything. I probably will, because I'm not an expert at super advanced by any means, but I'm going to try it out and see what I can do. I know the two Earls, the Battle of the Earls, they've talked about playing super advanced later this week, so maybe this will give them some extra thing to look at, to think about, and go by, hopefully. So we'll be right back with the start of the ball game, with the starting lineup, starting pitchers, and the first pitch right after this. All right, let's look at the starting pitchers for each team. First, for Minnesota, will be right-hander Dean Chance, and on the 67 season, he was 20-14 with a 2.73 ERA. And for the Yankees, it'll be Mel Stottlemyre, and on the 67 season, he was 15-15 with a 2.96 ERA. We'll meet the starting lineups for the Yankees, since they are the visiting team, and will be batting first. Leading off and playing second base will be Horace Clarke. Batting second in left field, Tom Tresh. Hitting third, the center fielder Joe Pepitone. Batting cleanup is the Mickey Mantle at first base in his older years. Batting fifth is the right fielder Steve Whitaker. Batting sixth at third base is Charlie Smith, and he was involved in the trade of Roger Maris. The Yankees got him from the Cardinals for Roger Maris straight up in the offseason of 66 to 67. So Charlie Smith will be the third baseman and hit sixth. Jake Gibbs is the catcher, and in the Super Advanced, not only Super Advanced but Advanced as well, you notice the chances for a throwing error on a stolen base attempt is 1 through 17. So if the Twins run and we get a 1, 2, or 3 on the D20, Jake Gibbs could very well hawk one right into center field. So anyway, he will hit seventh and catch, and Ruben Amaro will hit eighth at shortstop. And the pitcher, Mel Stottlemyre, will be using pitcher hitting card number 1. He's obviously not a very good hitter. All right, so the first thing to notice is that when no one's on base, other than perhaps the ballpark effects, there really is no difference between the advanced and the super advanced until you get someone on base. The only other adjustment would be the defensive check. But when you get to runner advancement and stolen bases and so forth, that's when the differences really start to come into play. But right away, we're going to go and start just as you would if you were playing advanced. But first, the ballpark effects, and I wrote those down for Minnesota's home stadium. A single is 1 to 13 for both left and right, and a home run is 1 to 14 for both left and right. So it's a good hitter's ballpark, and the ballpark effects, if they come up, will definitely be advantageous to the batter. All right, so Horace Clarke, switch hitter, is going to come up to face Dean Chance. He'll be batting left-handed. And we're ready to go with the first pitch. And we get a 1-11, so that is under Horace Clarke against Dean Chance. A 1-11, right? First play out of the chute is a ballpark effect. There you see the upside-down triangle. So it's a single on advanced, but on super advanced, we have to have a D20 roll, and that roll is 1 to 13 for a successful single. If it's a 14 or higher, he will line out to the second baseman. It is a 6, so the base hit stands. The ballpark did not take that away from him. And now is when the fun starts, when runners are on base. So one of the first adjustments we have to make is with every pitch or every batter, we need to roll the D20. And the reason we're rolling the D20 is to see if we end up with a 1 or a 2. And if we do that, then there's a chance for either a wild pitch. I'm sorry, it could be a balk or it could be a pass ball. That's what I'm meant to say. A balk or a pass ball could occur if we roll a 1 or a 2 within the normal D6 roll of a batter. So what we're going to do is roll all 3, and then we'll check and see if the D20 is a 1 or a 2. If it's not a 1 or 2, we just ignore it and take the normal results of the D6. So first things first, let's check Horace Clarke and see if he's even a threat to run. He is an A stealer, so that presents a running opportunity by itself. So might as well get into the base stealing right away. You can see here, numbers to the left of the slash is a 4 and a 5. That means on a 2D6 roll, he would have to roll a 4 or a 5 in order to get the jump. If he gets the jump, then his safe range begins with this number on the left, 19, and he has to steal. He has no option. He cannot not go. If he doesn't get the jump, then he gets the option of saying, forget about it, I'm not going to try to steal. But if he does decide to steal anyway, then his safe range begins at 12. And then with the super advanced, you also bring in the pitcher hold rating, and you also bring in the catcher throw rating. So in this case, Dean Chance, his hold rating is +3, so that's going to help out Horace Clarke quite a bit. And Zimmerman is a -1 catcher arm, so that would be an aggregate +2. You take the +3 and the -1, put them together, you get +2. So Horace Clarke would get a +2 based on the pitcher and catcher hold ratings. However, the fact that he is being held is a -2 in the super advanced. So that would kind of negate that and pretty much be a wash the way it would work out. So if he did not get the jump, he would be looking at a 12. If he did get the jump, he would be looking at a 19. So that's what he's going to do. If you get the jump and you have to go and you get a 19, you're obviously about 95% chance you're going to be safe. So we're going to roll and see if he gets a 4 or a 5 and see if he can get that jump. He does not. It's an 11. So he didn't get the jump, but that doesn't mean he can't steal. So it starts as a 12, and like I said, you go through the pitcher hold rating and the catcher throw rating, and combined, that's a +2. So that makes it up to a 14. But then you subtract 2 for the fact that he's being held. That is in the rule book. Some people don't play it that way, but that's in the rule book. You do subtract the 2. And that brings him back to a 12. So basically, on a D20, it's a 1 to 12 to see if he makes it. So we're going to take the chance and see if he can get a steal here. It's a 6, or I'm sorry, it's a 9, so he made it. A 9, so Horace Clarke has successfully stolen second base. All right, so now we're going to have the at-bat for Tom Tresh with Clarke at second, but we're still going to roll this D20 every time because we're looking for a 1 or a 2 to check for a possible balk or wild pitch. So Tom Tresh is up to face Dean Chance. And the roll's a 19 on the D20, so we can take that to the side and ignore it for now. And if a D20 roll is called for again, you don't use the 19, you re-roll it again. So there's a 2-6, 2-6. So Tresh, a 2-6 is a pop out to third. So Tresh could not advance the runner. And that'll bring up Joe Pepitone, and we pull in the D20 again. Keep doing it as long as somebody's on base. All right, we get an 11, so that's not going to be needed. And we get a 6-7 against the lefty Pepitone, so we check Dean Chance. A 6-7 against the lefty Pepitone is a 1 to 16 for a single. 17 to 20 is a line out to first. The single's only 1 star, so the runner would not score, but it's a good chance he'll get a hit. 1 to 16, and he will do it. And it's a 9 again, so he definitely did it. So it's a base hit for Pepitone. But Clarke will only go to third. So runners are at the corners with 1 out for Mickey Mantle. And they're going to hold Pepitone on, and they're going to play double play depth and see if they can get the slow running Mantle to hit into a double play. But we're, of course, going to roll the D20s again. Pepitone could think about stealing, but he's not very good at it. So they're going to go ahead and see if Mick can do something for him. And we get a 17, so we don't need that. So we got a 2-3, a 2-3. So we come up here, 2-3 strikeout plus injury. And, of course, Mantle was always known for his injuries, but in this game I'm not going to play it that way. It's just a one-game playthrough, so I'm just going to keep it as a strikeout and leave it at that. So Mickey Mantle down on strikes for out number 2. So it's up to Steve Whitaker to bring home the run. And we get an 8, so we don't need that. So it's a 4-5. 4-5 against a lefty for Dean Chance. A 4-5 is a strikeout. So Dean Chance comes back to strike out the last 2 batters of the inning to get out of the mess. And after half an inning of play, it's the Yankees nothing and the Twins coming to bat. All right, let's meet the starting lineups for the Twins as they face Mel Stottlemyre. Leading off in center field is Cesar Tovar. Batting second at shortstop is Solio Versailles. In right field is Tony Oliva hitting third. Batting cleanup is first baseman Harlan Killebrew. Batting fifth is second baseman Rod Carew, his rookie year. Hitting sixth in left field is the power hitting Bob Allison. Batting seventh at third base is Rich Rollins. Batting eighth in catching, Jerry Zimmerman. And you see he's got a T1-7 in case that comes up. And batting ninth using pitcher hitting card number 1 is Dean Chance. All right, so we are ready to go. We don't need the D20, obviously, because nobody's on base. So Tovar with the first crack at Stottlemyre. And we get a 1-5. And a 1-5 is a walk. So a leadoff walk to Tovar, and he is probably a threat to steal. We'll check him out and see. His rating to get a jump is 3-7, and if he gets it, he starts with a 15. If he doesn't, he starts as a 12. So they're going to see if he can get the jump. 3-7, he would get a jump. It's a 5, he gets the jump, which means he has to steal. So he got the jump, so that means he has to steal. So now we're going to check some figures for stealing. And the first things first, we're going to look at is his number, which is 15. Since he got the jump, he starts as a 15. Then we do some calculations with the pitcher and catcher. Stottlemyre is a -1. That drops him to a 14. Jake Gibbs is a 0. Jake Gibbs is a throw rating of 0, so it stays at a 14. And then we subtract 2 for him being held, so that would make it a 12. So he's got a 1 to 12 chance to make it, or 1 through 12 on the dice chance to make it. So he's gonna have to go for it because he got the jump. He has no choice. So 1 to 12, and he will make it. It's a 6, so he made it. Cesar Tovar with a stolen base. So the first inning we have 2 stolen bases, and he is now in scoring position for Solio Versailles. I've heard it pronounced Versailles, but I think an announcer I heard call it Versailles, so that's what I'll go with. Reminds me of that fort in France or somewhere. So, or palace or whatever it is. I'm not very hip on European history. All right, so Versailles, now he could bunt, but he's not a very good bunter. He's only a C bunter, so they're going to let him swing away, and we will use the D20 to look for that 1 or 2 again. And we get a 15, so we don't need it. We got a 4-5, so a 4-5 against a righty for Stottlemyre. 4-5 against the righty, and he struck him out. So Versailles down on strikes. As Stottlemyre bows up to show a little confidence with the strikeout, maybe a little perturbed about the stolen base. Brings up Tony Oliva. And we get a 12, so we don't need that. So it's a 6-8. 6-8 against the lefty. 6-8 against the lefty. It's a split chance and a pretty good one, 1-19. So anything other than a 20, and it's a base hit, but it's only 1 star, so the run won't score. So as long as we don't have a 20, he's all right. And that's a 17. That is a 17, so he made it barely. But it's a base hit, and the Twins find themselves in the same position that the Yankees did. Runners at the corners and 1 out. And a slow-footed, power-hitting first baseman at the plate in the cleanup position, just like the Yankees had. So here's Killebrew. It's a 10, so we don't need that. 5-6 for Stottlemyre. A 5 and a 6 is a ground ball shortstop A, and just on cue, we got a 6-4-3 double play from the slow-running Killebrew to get out of it. So it's a 6-4-3 DP. And despite the fact that both teams put some base runners on in the first, we are scoreless. And now we start the top of the second with Charlie Smith. See what he can do. It's a 4-11. So against Dean Chance, a 4-11 is a fly ball to left field B. I was trying to get one of these X charts, but they'll come up eventually. So it's a fly to left for Charlie Smith. He is out of there. And now here's catcher Jake Gibbs. It's a 3-8. 3-8 for Gibbs. A potential home run, 1-8. A 9-20 will be a flyout, but a 1-8, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead. And it's a 9. He missed it by 1. Missed it by 1, so it's simply going to be a long fly ball to right. So warning track power as the right fielder, Oliva, hauls it in for out number 2. That'll bring up Ruben Amaro, the shortstop. And it's a 1-7. 1-7 is a walk. So look at all those outs, and he found the 1 walk there. And now the thing is, though, it's very doubtful he's going to try to steal because the pitcher is up, and they want to clear him out of the batting order. But we're still going to roll the D20 to make sure there's no balk or wild pitch. It's a 3, but you need a 1 or 2, so that's still no play. 3-8 is the roll. 3-8 is a strikeout to end the inning. So the inning is over as Strat-o-matic strikes out, and the Yankees go down in the second. So bottom of the second, and rookie second baseman Rod Carew is going to lead things off. And Carew is a 4-6 against Strat-o-matic. 4-6 is a strikeout. So a strikeout of Carew for out number 1. Carew did not strike out that many times. Well, he did strike out 91 times in his rookie season, so I guess he didn't get that really good low strikeout numbers until later in his career. Here is Bob Allison. It's a 6-7. So a 6-7 for Allison is a potential single, 1-6. So we need a 1-6 to get a base hit for Allison. And we do. It's a 3. So a 3 is a base hit. So Bob Allison beat the odds, got the single. And that brings in the D20 for the next roll for Rich Rollins. Now, Allison's not going anywhere, but we still need the D20 for obvious reasons. It's a 16, so we don't need it. 2-8, 2-8. 2-8 is a pop out to third. All those hits, and he found a pop out to third on the 2-8. So Rich Rollins pops it up to shoot. Handled by Charlie Smith. 2 down for Jerry Zimmerman, the catcher. Catcher Jerry Zimmerman. It's an 8, so we don't need that. 2-6. 2-6. It's a ground ball to short. It would have been a double play, but there were already 2 outs, so the inning is over. Just a 6-4 fielder's choice to end the inning. So after 2 complete, we are scoreless. And now Horace Clark, who singled and stole second, is going to lead off. He got stranded at third. So it's a 3-10. 3-10 is a fly ball to left for 1 away. And we still haven't found a fielding chance yet, but they'll be coming. Here's Tom Tresh. 6-6 for Tresh. 6-6 is a chance here for a double or a single. 1-9 for a double. 10-20 for a single. Whoops, if I can get it in the box, that would really help, wouldn't it? It is a 6, so it's a 6, which means it's a double for Tom Tresh. A 1-out double for Tresh, and that brings up Pepitone. As Tresh is on second base with 1 out. Here's Pepitone. Don't need the D20 now. 6-5 against a lefty. 6-5 is a potential home run, but he has to have end power, which Pepitone does. He has end power. So it is a 1-4 for a home run. 5-20 will be a fly to right, which the runner on Tresh could go to third on. So we'll see. If it's a 1-4, it's a 2-run homer, and the Yankees will grab the lead. It's a 1. So how about that? It's a 1. So Joe Pepitone with a 2-run shot. And the Yankees grab a 2-0 lead. Pepitone's 2 for 2 now. And it is a 2-0 lead for the Yankees. Here's Mickey Mantle with the bases clear. 6-6. 6-6. Well, we're back to the same roll we had previously. 1-9 is a double. 10-20 is a single. So the Mick will be on. I know he's not going to steal. It's a 13, so that is a single for Mickey Mantle. And he's not going to be stealing. And now we need the D20 again, of course, to check for potential balk or wild pitch. It's a 5, so we don't need that. It's a 4-9 against a lefty. 4-9 is a ground ball shortstop X. We finally had the fielding chance we needed. So it's ground ball shortstop. The shortstop is Versailles. He is a 3-32, so keep that in mind. A 3 and a 32. Now in the advanced game, you roll the D20 to check for range, and if the range check fails, then you roll the D6s to check on an error. In super advanced, you check on the range and the error of every play. So what we're going to do, first of all, since it's for the shortstop, is we're going to go to the range section for our middle infielders or our infielders. And since Versailles was a 3, we're going to look at this column right here and compare the D20 roll under column 3. Then we're going to go to his error check, look at his error rating, cross-reference the total number on the 3 D6s, and see if we find it in this error chart. And if we do, he has an error. If we don't, then it's a good play. So first things first, let's roll all the dice and then we'll figure it all out. So we get a 12 on the D20, and we get a total of 11 on the D6s. So a 12, he's a 3 rated shortstop. Oops. 3 rated shortstop and a 12, that's a G2. So we keep in mind G2. Come over to our shortstop. He is an E32. So we go down to 32, which is right here, and we're looking for an 11. Anything in here that's an 11 would be an error. Nope, we got a 13, a 15, a 3, a 17, and 18. Had he been an E29, that would have been an error. But since it's an E32, the 11 did not show up, so it's a good play. So that means we go to G2. So in our chart here under G2, which is right here, it says here, G2, no, which means there's no error. Refer to the following chart. Well, what's the base situation? The base situation is you have a runner on first. And it says here, if the runner is on first and the infield's normal, it's a force play. So it's basically a ground ball B, if you want to put it into the advanced terminology. So it's a fielder's choice, 6-4. They can't turn the double play, but they do get the out for out number 2. And now Whitaker is on base as Mantle is out at second. And that'll bring up Charlie Smith. Charlie Smith. It's 18, so we don't need that. It's a 5-4. 5-4 against the righty. 5-4 is a catcher X. Okay, we got another fielding check on the catcher. The catcher, Zimmerman, is a E2. He's an E2 with a, it's a range of 2 E4. So it's a 2 E4. A 2 E4, and we're going to roll all the dice again. And we get a 19 on the D20, and we get a total of 8 on the D6s. So we go to the Super Advanced for catchers, which is right here. And he was a range of 2, and we rolled a 19. So that's a G2. If we'd been up here, it would have been chances for pass balls. But we're down here, it's a G2, which is the ground out. And then we have an 8, so we need to make sure he didn't fumble the play. So his error rating is a 4. So we're going to catcher error rating 4 and see if we can find a total of 8 in this column. We do not. We see 16, 17, and 18. So he did not make an error. In fact, I can't find an 8 on this thing anywhere. So it looks like if you roll an 8, you're pretty smooth either way you go. But say, for instance, we had rolled a total of 16, that would have been an error. So he made the play. It's a ground ball play, so the inning is over. 2-3 ground out. And the Yankees take the lead with that 2-run home run by Joe Pepitone. And we go to the bottom of the third with a 2-0 ball game. And Dean Chance, the pitcher, leads off against Strat-o-matic. It's a 2-4. 2-4 is a strikeout off of pitcher hitting card number 1. And Dean Chance is quickly disposed of. Top of the order, Cesar Tovar. It's a 3-2. 3-2 is a line-out max. Now, in the advanced game, you could get a triple play on this. On the super advanced, it's not guaranteed if there are runners on base that you're going to get a triple play. You have to roll a D20 to determine that. But if that comes up, I'll bring that up. But for right now, nobody's on base, so it's irrelevant. But it's not a guaranteed triple play in the super advanced. But it's a line out to the third baseman, Charlie Smith, for out number 2. And Zolio Versailles, shortstop, leads, comes up with 2 outs and the base is empty. It's a 4-4 against Strat-o-matic. A 4-4 is a fly ball center field X. All right, so we got Joe Pepitone out there. And we're going to see what Pepitone can do. He's a range of 3 and an error rating of 9. So a 3 and a 9, and we got an 8 on the D20, and we have a total of 10 on the D6s. So we go to our outfielder advanced chart, super advanced chart. Flip that over. The outfielders, and we have an 8 on the D20, and Pepitone is a 3. So we go to column 3, number 8. That's an F1. So it looks like he'll make the play, assuming there's no error. Now the D6 is total 10, and he is an error rating of 9. So we go to center field, error rating of 9, and we're looking for a 10. We do not see that. There is no 10 there. So he's going to make the play on an F1. And just for fun, F1 is simply a fly out, all runners tag, and advance 1 base. So had there been runners on, they would have advanced, but it was the third out of the inning and the bases were empty. So the Twins go down 1-2-3 here in the third. We go to the fourth, and Charlie Smith leads things off. I'm sorry, Charlie Smith made the last out. I didn't move the card. Jake Gibbs is going to lead things off. Bottom of the order, Gibbs, Amaro, and Strat-o-matic. It's a 4-8. 4-8 is a fly ball to center field, and that's 1 away. As it's hauled in out there by Cesar Tovar. 1 away for Ruben Amaro. And Amaro a 2-2. Another line out, Max, but again, nobody's on base. It's just a line out to third as Rich Rollins snags it for out number 2. And now we've got Strat-o-matic, the pitcher, stepping to the plate. 2 out, space is empty. And we're under chance, so he gets a better chance, pardon the pun. 4-5. 4-5, however, is a fly ball to right, and the inning is over. So 3 up, 3 down for the Yankees here in the fourth. Go to the bottom of the fourth, still clinging to a 2-0 lead. And we have Tony Oliva. Tony Oliva will lead things off. Got the heart of the order, Oliva, Killebrew, and Carew. And we have a 3-7. 3-7 is a ground ball second base. Handled out there by Horace Clark, 1 away for the power hitting Killebrew. Killebrew hit into a double play his first time up. It's a 5-8 against Strat-o-matic. A 5-8 is a fly to center. So Pepitone handles that one easily. 2 away for Rod Carew. It's a 3-10, and a 3-10 is a fly ball to left. That's going to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Strat-o-matic is on a little bit of a roll here, so through 4 complete, it is still 2-0 in favor of the Twins. I'm sorry, in favor of the Yankees. And now we're back to the top of the order, and Horace Clark to lead off the 5th. A 3-10. 3-10 is a fly to left, so 1 away. 1 down, and that'll bring up Tom Tresh. Yankee haters in the day used to call him Tom Trash. It's 3-10. 3-10 is a potential ballpark effect. It was a flyout, but it could be a base hit. Now, the ballpark effect for singles for Minnesota is 1-13. So 1-13, and he'll get a single. Otherwise, it'll be a line out to short. It's a 9, so that's a base hit. So the ballpark has given Tom Tresh a base hit. He's 2 for 3, a double and a single. And that'll bring up Pepitone, who homered last time. And again, we're going to roll the D20s to check for balks and wild pitch possibilities. It's a 4, so we don't need that. 6-5 against the lefty. 6-5 against the lefty. It's another in chance for a home run. And Pepitone has in power. In fact, this is the exact roll he found last time to get that power, and he rolled a 1 on the D20 to get the home run. Can he do it again? Can history repeat itself here in the dice? 1-4, it's another homer. Now it's a 14, which is a fly ball B. Fly ball B, but with less than 2 outs and a runner. Well, no, the runner's at first. He's not at second. Had he been at second, he would have had a chance to go to third on that, but didn't work since he was only at first base. So, just missed it. Joe Pepitone going for the back-to-back homers, but not quite enough, and there's 2 away for Mickey Mantle. So the Mickey Mantle is up. Tresh still at first base, 2 outs. And we get a 14, so we don't need that. 2-8. 2-8 for the Mick is a walk. So Mickey Mantle, 2-out walk. That puts runners in scoring position now as Tresh moves up to second base. And we've got Steve Whitaker. Steve Whitaker stepping to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Strikeout and a fielder's choice. And it's a 7, so we don't need that. It's a 6-4 against Dean Chance against the lefty. 6-4 is a ground ball first base. Hey, just missed a possible home run chance again, but it's a ground ball to first. And with 2 outs, Killebrew will just take it the easy way himself, and that will end the inning. Nothing doing for the Yankees here in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and leading off will be power hitting Bob Allison for the Twins. He hit 24 home runs in 1967. And we've got a 4-5 against Strat-o-matic. Against the righty, 4-5 is a strikeout. So Strat-o-matic still going strong with that strikeout. That'll bring up Rich Rollins, the third baseman. We get a 5-10. So a 5-10 is a ground ball shortstop X. So here we go with a Ruben Amaro defensive chance at shortstop. Ruben Amaro is a 3 and an E23. So a 3 and an E23. And we have a 7 and a 14 for the rolls. And he is an E3. So first things we do is check the range, which he is a range rating of 3. And the roll is a 7. So a 3 and a 7. 3 and a 7 is a G3 with a hashtag there, I guess you call it. I think that goes only when the infield's in, so it's pretty much just a grounder. And now we check for an error. He's an E23, and the roll was a 14. So go to the shortstop side, E23, E23, and we're looking for a 3, a 13, a 17, or an 18, and that's a 14, so he just missed it. Had that been a 13, he would have made an error, but there is no error. So the result was a G3, and base running situation, the bases are empty. So that means you go to batter, and the batter says batter is out, runner advance only a 4. So it's simply going to be a ground out to short, as it's successfully fielded by Amaro. So there's 2 away for catcher Jerry Zimmerman. Zimmerman, a 5-12. Against Strat-o-matic. A 5-12 is a ground ball first base X. So now we're going to check and see if Mickey Mantle can handle it. He's not the best of fielders. He's a 4 rated first baseman with an E13. So if he can get to it, he probably will field it. The question is, can he get to it? Well, a 17 on the D20 will probably help that. And he's got a 7 on the D6. So first baseman, and he's a 4, but it's a 17. So first baseman, he's a 4, and 17 is a G1. And then his error rating is a 13, and it's a 7. So we go to E13. We're looking for a 7. We don't see it. We see 11, 13, and 17. So it's a good play. G1. And with nobody on, a G1 is simply going to be, if bases are empty, it's the batter. It would have been a double play had somebody been on base, but with the bases empty, it's simply a ground ball that Mantle's going to take to the bag himself. And we've got 5 innings in the books. With the score, the Yankees 2, the Twins nothing. I'm going to take a quick break and come back for inning number 6. Okay, top of the 6th, it'll be Charlie Smith to lead things off for the Yankees. And we get a 1-7. 1-7 is a potential double, 1-4. Anything else will be a fly to center. It's a 10, so it's a fly ball to center field. Tovar makes the play, 1 away for Jake Gibbs. It's a 3-9. 3-9 for Gibbs is a single to center because the Omega symbol only comes into play when there are 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. It's a clutch rating. But with nobody on, there's nothing clutch about it. It's just simply a single. So Jake Gibbs with a 1-out single. And that'll bring up Ruben Amaro. And again, we're back to the D20 to check for pass balls and balks. It's a 4, so that's not going to come into play. 6-5 for Amaro against Dean Chance. A 6-5 is a potential home run, but not a good one. 1-3. But Amaro is weak against righties, so it would only be a single anyway with 2 stars. And that's only if we roll a 1-3. Anything else will be a fly to left. So 1-3, and we'll have a single advancing 2 bases. It's an 11, so it's a fly to left for out number 2. And now we've got the pitcher Strat-o-matic coming up. It's a 15, we don't need that. It's a 5-6. 5-6 against the righty is a strikeout. So Dean Chance puts the whiff on his adversary, his counterpart Strat-o-matic, to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th, still 2-0, and leading off will be Dean Chance. It's a 4-4 against Strat-o-matic. 4-4 is a fly ball center field X. That's Pepitone again. So we'll give him another chance. He's a 3-rated center fielder, E9. That's a 13 and a 13. That was a 6-3 there. So it's a 13 and a 13 is what that roll turned out to be before I accidentally bumped it. So it's a 13 and a 13. That's easy to remember. And his range rating for Pepitone is a 3. So we go to 3, and we go down to 13, and that is an F2. Then we go to the center fielder error chart, 13. We've got a total of 13. I'm sorry, he's an E9, not an E13. E9. We're looking for a 13, and we don't see it. So it's a simple fly out to center field for out number 1. So Pepitone made the play, no problem. And we're back to the top of the order, and Cesar Tovar. 0 for 1 with a walk. It's a 2-7. 2-7 is a ground ball to short, so out number 2. Strat-o-matic in complete control of this game so far. And here's Versailles, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. It's a 5-5. Oh, we looked at Dean Chance. I need to be looking at Strat-o-matic. 5-5 is a walk. So all these outs, and he found the 1 walk. So Versailles with a walk. 2-out walk. And that'll bring up Oliva. And again, we'll bring the D20 into play to check for balks and pass balls. It's a 9, so we don't need that. It's a 5-6. 5-6 against a lefty. 5-6 is a fly to center, so Pepitone makes that play again. And the inning is over. So we completed 6. Score still 2-0 in favor of the Yankees. Top of the 7th. And as far as reduction ratings or point of weakness ratings, Dean Chance's point of weakness begins in the 8th. Strat-o-matic's will begin in the bottom of the 7th. All right, here's Horace Clarke to lead things off. And we get a 3-5. 3-5 is a single if it's a 1-2. Anything else is a line out to Carew at second. So he needs a 1 or a 2, which he did not get. So he lines it hard, but right at Rod Carew for out number 1. One second baseman lining to another. Here's Tom Trash, however you want to refer to him. He's 2 for 3. It's a 1-7. 1-7, he's going to fly to center fielder Tovar for out number 2. And that'll bring up Pepitone, who's had 2 chances at home runs here recently. Finding the 6-5 roll on Dean Chance twice in a row. Doesn't do it this time. It's a 4-8 this time. 4-8 is a fly to center, and that's going to end it as Tovar makes that play. And we go to the 7th inning stretch with the score still Yankees 2 and the Twins nothing. And again, this is Strat-o-matic's point of weakness beginning inning. And he's got to face Killebrew, Carew, and Allison. Tough part of the order. 3-5 for Killebrew. And that's a home run. So Harmon Killebrew didn't waste any time. He just jacked one. It's a solo shot. And it cuts the lead in half to 2-1. And now the Yankee bullpen might begin to stir a little bit. As Strat-o-matic now is down to 2 left before he becomes ineffective or fatigued. Here's Carew. It's a 2-7. 2-7's a fly to center. So that's 1 away. As Strat-o-matic tries to recover from that blast by Killebrew. Here's Allison. It's a 5-9. So a 5-9 is a ground ball shortstop X. That's Amaro. So we'll check Amaro. And Ruben Amaro is a 3 rated shortstop with an E23. 3 E23. And that's a 19, so that's going to help him out. And a 13. So we got a 19 and a 13 for the shortstop. 19 and a 13. So a 3 rated shortstop and a 19 is a G1. And error ratings of 23 and a 13. So an E23 and a 13 right there. There it is. E1. He found it. The 13 is right there. So the result of the ground ball, the 19 on a 3 was a G1. So we go to G1, and we look under E1. And it says error, batter to first, runner advances 1 base. So it's a 1 base error on Ruben Amaro. So Ruben Amaro boots it. And now the tying run is on base for Rich Rollins with Allison at first. It's a 2-5. 2-5 is a potential single, 1-4. Anything else, he lines it to Amaro. So can Amaro snag it? It's a 5. It's a 5, which is just out of range. So Amaro just barely able to grab it for out number 2. And it's up to the catcher, Jerry Zimmerman, to get it done. It's a 5, so we don't need that. 6-10 off of Strat-o-matic. 6-10. 6-10 is a potential ballpark check. Or it's not a potential, it is a ballpark check. It's an upside-down triangle. So a 1-13, and instead of a fly out to center, it'll be a single. 1-13. It's a 17, so it's actually going to change to a liner out to short. And Amaro will field it again to end the inning. And that's it for the Twins. So we've completed 7 here in Minnesota, and it's now a 2-1 ball game. I almost forgot to put in Killebrew's home run there. So it's a 2-1 ball game, and we'll be right back to start the 8th. Okay, we're ready for the top of the 8th. The Twins have double barrel action in their bullpen. They got lefty Jim Rowland and righty. They got lefty Jim Olam and righty Ron Klein. That's what I meant to say. I picked the wrong card. So Klein and Olam are loosening in the Twins bullpen. In the Yankee bullpen is lefty Steve Hamilton. He is loosening for the Yankees. But right now, it's still going to be Chance and Strat-o-matic as Chance begins his point of weakness inning here in the 8th. And Mickey Mantle steps up. Mantle struck out, walked, and singled. It's a 5-7. So a 5-7, look at Mantle there. 1-4 is a triple. 5-20 is a single. Can you imagine Mantle with those aching legs getting a triple? Well, 1-4, he could do it. It's an 18, so it's just going to be a single for Mickey Mantle. And with that single, we're going to have a substitution for Mickey Mantle, a pinch runner, and a new first baseman. So we'll be right back with that substitution. Okay, as the Yankees often did in the late innings in 1967 when they had the lead, they would take out Mickey Mantle and bring in Mike Hegan as a pinch runner and also a first baseman. He is a 2-rated first baseman at E4, where Mantle was a 4-rated first baseman with an E13. So much better defense, plus a little bit faster running. He's a 1-14, where Mantle was Mantle was also a 14, but his stolen base was an E, where Higgins is a B. Not that Higgins going anywhere, but at least he got a faster runner, and they will have better defense in the bottom of the inning. All right, here's Steve Whitaker, and we get a 3-9 for Whitaker. 3-9 is a strikeout. So Dean Chance toughening up a little bit with the strikeout. 1 away for Charlie Smith. And it's a 4-11. 4-11 is a fly to left, handled out there by Allison. So there's 2 away for Jake Gibbs. I once wondered if Bob Allison ever had a daughter named her Allison. That could be Allison. All right, Jake Gibbs. Nothing there. 6-4 for Dean Chance. 6-4 against the lefty. He's a ground ball A. He just missed a potential home run chance, although he was weak power. But it's a ground ball first base and handled there by Killebrew. Take it to the bag himself. The inning is over. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 2-1 ball game. And the pitcher spot's coming up for the Twins. So obviously Dean Chance will be removed, and we will have a pinch hitter to face Stottlemyre, and it'll be the lefty Ted Eulander. So Ted Eulander will be on to pinch hit. Ted Eulander. He will pinch hit, and we'll get a new pitcher in the 9th for the Twins, and it could depend on whether they tie the game or are ahead or still behind. Bullpen, of course, hot and heavy for the Yankees. They have Dooley Womack, the righty, up there joining the lefty Hamilton. So we'll see. Stottlemyre, I'm sure, is on a short leash. Here's Eulander's pinch hit, 1-8. 1-8 is a potential single, 1-7. If it's a 1-7, it's a single. If it's an 8-20, that means that Hegan, the new first baseman, has fielded it. It's a 10, so Hegan snagged it. So dividends right there on the first baseman. So it's a line out to first. The pinch hitting opportunity fails. And now we're back to the top of the order, and Cesar Tovar. Tovar, a 3-10. 3-10 is a pop out to second. So Stottlemyre trying to hang in there and complete 8 if he can. He's 1 out away from doing so, and he's got to get through shortstop Zolio Versailles. It's a 1-10. 1-10 is a double for a 1-2 or a 3-20 for a single. So let's see what Versailles can do. It's a 16, so that's a single. 2-out single by Versailles, and that gets us to Tony Oliva, and they're not going to let Stottlemyre face Oliva. We're going to have a change in the action as they're going to bring the lefty Steve Hamilton in to face the lefty Oliva. So we'll be right back with this pitching change. All right, the lefty Steve Hamilton is in with Versailles at first base and 2 outs, and he's going to face the lefty Oliva. And we have a 2-7. 2-7 for Oliva is a strikeout. So Hamilton comes in and strikes him out. And had he still faced Stottlemyre righty, the 2-7 would have been a potential double. The run wouldn't have scored, but they'd still been in trouble. So the lefty facing the lefty got the K. Hamilton did his job, and the lead is still intact at 2-1. So we're going to the 9th, and we're right back with the new Minnesota pitcher and the top of the 9th. Okay, top of the 9th, new Minnesota pitcher is right-hander Ron Klein. Be facing Ruben Amaro, and then the pitcher spot. And the pitcher spot, Elston Howard will be pinch hitting for Hamilton, and then Dooley Womack will come in to pitch the bottom of the 9th. So first things first, it is going to be Ruben Amaro stepping to the plate. And that's a 6-8 against Klein. 6-8 is a fly ball to center field for 1 away. And now Elston Howard, the pinch hitter, steps to the plate. It's a 5-6. 5-6 is a fly to right, so that's out number 2. And we're back to the top of the order for Horace Clarke. So Horace Clarke, it is a 4-5. A 4-5 against the lefty, because he's a switch hitter. 4-5 is a ground ball to first. So Killebrew takes it to the bag himself. And the inning's over. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Yankees trying to close it out, leading it 2-1. And Dooley Womack, the closer, is in to pitch on the season in 67. He had 18 saves, 5-6 with a 2.41 ERA and 18 saves. So he is called on to try to seal the deal. And his first batter he's going to face is Harmon Killebrew, who homered his last time up to give the Twins their only run. So Womack will have to face some tough hitters, Killebrew, Carew, and Allison, to survive this bottom of the 9th. All right, here's Killebrew. It's a 1-7. 1-7 is a fly to center, so Womack gets a big out there for out number 1, and that'll bring up Rod Carew. Carew against Womack. It's a 5-4. So Womack, a 5-4, is a catcher X. The catcher is Jake Gibbs. And Jake Gibbs is a E3 and a range of 3 and an E11. Range of 3 and an E11 with a 20 on the D20 will certainly help, and an 8 for his error check. So the 20 and a 3 should be automatic. Yep, that's a G2. Now the error is a different story. He is an error rating of 11, and we get an 8. So an E11 And we're looking for an 8. We don't see one. Don't see an 8. So there's no 8 there, so he made the play. G1, which means it's simply a 2-3 ground out. For out number 2. So the Twins down to their last chance, Bob Allison. And he does have home run power, obviously. See what he can do against Womack. It's a 1-6. 1-6 is a strikeout, and the ball game is over. The Yankees hold on and win it by the score of 2-1. And we'll be right back with the totals. Okay, reviewing the totals. The Yankees win it by a score of 2-1. For the Yankees, 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. They left 8 on base. For the Twins, 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. They left 5 on base. Winning pitcher was Mel Stottlemyre. He went 7 2/3, gave up 4 hits and the home run to Killebrew. Walked 2, struck out 4. Steve Hamilton faced the 1 batter, Tony Oliva, and struck him out in his 3rd of an inning, so I guess he would get a hold technically. And Dooley Womack pitched the 9th, 1-2-3, striking out Allison to end the game for his save. And the losing pitcher, even though he pitched very well, was Dean Chance. He went 8 innings, gave up 8 hits, but that big 2-run homer to Pepitone was the difference. He walked 2, struck out 5. Ron Klein pitched a 1-2-3 ninth to keep it the score where it was. Offensive star of the game was Pepitone. He went 2 for 4, a single and a 2-run homer, and that was it. The only offense for the Twins was the home run by Killebrew. So that's it from here. Super Advanced 1967. Yankees defeat the Twins. Didn't get to a lot of the things I wanted to get to. I did get to some stolen bases, and we did a lot of fielding. One of the things we didn't see is we didn't roll a 1 or a 2 on the D20 to be able to check for balks or pass balls. And also, there was not a whole lot of first to third running, where you get the +2, or some other things like that could come up in the Super Advanced, or ground balls where, if it's a ground ball A, it's a runner on second, less than 2 outs, and the ground ball A goes to first or second. In the Advanced, the runner doesn't advance, but in Super Advanced, it's more under baseball logic, and the runner would advance. In fact, on page 17 of the rule book, we've got this Super Advanced ballpark check. So with the infield back, and say a runner is on second base, and there's a ground ball A, there's a 6 there. Go to the key on 6, it says, if hit to first or second base, batter out, runner advance 1 base. Otherwise, batter's out, runner holds. So, under normal baseball logic, when you ground the ball to the right side of the infield with a runner at second, that's how you get him to third. And so the Super Advanced will allow you to do that, whereas the Advanced, you have to stay where they are because the A dictates that. And with the bases loaded, if you have the bases loaded in the infield in, and you get a ground ball A, that's a 9. And on the 9 chart, it says batter out, runner on third out, double play. So in other words, it's a 1, 2, or it's a, if it's back to the pitcher, it's a 1, 2, 3 double play. If it's to the shortstop, it's a 6, 2, 3 double play, so forth. If it's a ground ball B or C, then it's a 7. And the 7 says batter is safe, lead runner is out. So they throw home for the force, and that's it. You don't get anything else. But that's if the infield's in. Now, if the infield's back and the bases are loaded and you roll a 2, then that is batter out, runner on first out, double play. So that's like a 6-4-3 or 4-6-3 double play. But if there's nobody out, then a runner on home will score. And if it's the ground ball B, then that's a fielder's choice, forced out at second. And if it's the ground ball C, then everybody advances. So a little bit of a difference there as far as the Super Advanced. Trying to see if there's anything else in Super Advanced that really stands out that I can talk to or speak on, whatever the ruling is. All right, now here's the rule as far as rolling the D20 as I was rolling it every time. It says, let's see here. No, that's the stolen base. I need the one for the pickoffs and balks. Okay, here we go. If a 20-sided die, okay, we're going to roll, let's go back to this page. When rolling for a lead, also roll the 20-sided die along with the 2 colored dice. If the 20-sided die rolls a 3 to 20, discard the 20-sided die and continue normally. If the 20-sided roll is a 1, the runner attempting the lead may be picked off. Refer the runner's steal second rating. Okay. If the 20-sided die is a 2, there's also a possible balk. So that talks about when you're stealing, but there's another section that talks about it without the stealing. and I need to find that somewhere or another. I know it's in here because I read it. Just have to find it. Sometimes you look for things and you think you know where they are, and then you can't find it. And that's kind of frustrating, but maybe I'll find it somewhere along the way. Now, I'm not going to use the catcher blocking the plate rule because that's now where they make it where you can't even, the catcher can't even stand near the plate in fear they might get hurt. So we just leave that alone. Let's see here. All right, I did want to talk about well, that's in the advanced rules. So that's, if you know the advanced rules, you already know that one as well. Okay, I'm not seeing it. I know it's in here. I'm just not seeing it somewhere. It's there, believe me. It's there. I just can't find it. Oh well. I'm not going to bore you with the rest of this. I know it's here somewhere. I just can't, for some reason, can't locate it. And I'm not going to pause the video and try to find it and all that stuff. I'll be here all day trying to find it, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it. So I know it's there somewhere. I'm just not seeing it for whatever reason. Okay. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it. Okay. Unless I'm playing it wrong. Maybe I'm playing it wrong and you only roll the 20-sided die if there's a steal attempt. Maybe you don't do it if there's not a steal attempt, but I could have sworn that you did that to check for balks. I know there's an optional balk. You know what? Here we go. I'm going to be tenacious like Tenacious Strat, even though that's not what his tenacious stands for. Individual balks, wild pitch, and pass balls. Okay, that's what I'm going for. All right, now I found it. When pitching to a batter, when rolling the 3-sided dice to get the result from the player card, or when using the bunt, hit, and run charts, roll the 20-sided die at the same time. If the 20-sided die is 3 to 20, continue with normal play. If the 20-sided die is a 1, a wild pitch may occur. If the 20-sided die is a 2, a balk may occur. So that's the reason why I was doing that, in case you was wondering why I was wasting my time. And by logic and by rules, you're not going to have that many wild pitches and balks. So, majority of the time, almost all the time, that's not going to come up. But it's there in case you want to add it in. And it is part of the super advanced rule because it's in this gray. Anything in gray is super advanced in the rule book. So, and this talks about the ballpark effects and all that, the clutch hitting and all that good stuff. But that's what I was trying to find earlier, and I couldn't find it. It took me about 5 minutes, I think, to find the stupid thing. But anyway, I found it, and that's why I was doing that. So hopefully, hopefully for one, I didn't make any mistakes. If I did, please let me know, and I will make sure I review that and tighten that up. As far as the super advanced, if I misread a dice roll, that's something totally different. That's just me. But if I misinterpreted a rule or something, that's what I really want to know about. But that's the super advanced game. 1967, there wasn't a lot of offense back in 67, so there were a lot of pitching duels, and especially when you had two good pitchers like Chance and Strat-o-matic. So the final score of 2-1 does not surprise me a bit. And that's going to do it from here. Hope everybody enjoyed this presentation of Super Advanced in one of the older seasons. I know some people say they like the older seasons, and I particularly like 67. It's one of my favorites. It's weird that most of my favorite seasons end in 7. My 3 favorite seasons, 67, 77, and 87, are probably my 3 favorite seasons. And it's just odd that they all end in 7. So for whatever that's worth, that just seemed to work out that way. At first, like I said, I was going to do something, a tournament or something with the 67 set, but I know how I am, and I know that I've already pre-ordered the 2016 set. So once that comes in, I'm going to be 2016 focused and probably won't have a whole lot of time to do things with other seasons, at least not initially. So I'm going to want to delve into that. And so rather than get started on something I can't finish, I'd rather not start. But I did want to, I did say I would show an occasional super advanced game from the 67 set. And that's what this was all about. So that's it from here. Hope everybody has a wonderful day. Tomorrow is Super Bowl Sunday. I don't really have a dog in the fight. I'm more of an anti-New England than I am a pro-Atlanta because I'm a Dolphin fan, so obviously can't like Miami. I mean, you can't like New England. I respect what they do. I just don't like them. And so I'm going to pull for Atlanta, but if New England wins, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it or be upset about it because it's just a game. I'll probably watch it more for the commercials too. So that's it from here. Hope everybody has a good time playing whatever game you choose to play, and we'll see everybody down the road.